Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be discussing a topic surrounding LEGO Ninjago, and this is going to specifically be about what form I think Nia should return in. So I thought this could be interesting to talk about because of course at the end of Seabound we saw Nia take the form of basically being one with the ocean, and I wanted to kind of discuss what lasting effect I hope that has on her character when she does eventually return, because I do believe they will bring back Nia at some point. I'm not going to discuss when this will wind up happening in this video because I believe I made previous videos discussing this already, but not specifically what form she should return in. So let's go over it here, and I'm going to kind of compare it almost to like when Cole became a ghost, because of course with that, now at this point in the Ninjago timeline that we're in now, that hasn't really had a long-lasting effect on him. Of course, at the time before we kind of went into this new era of Ninjago, it of course did initially have a long-lasting effect on him. Of course, he wound up having his scar even after Day of the Departed, but now at this point in the series that doesn't really affect his character. So I kind of want to talk about how I think they should go about this with Nia, because I feel that it is a somewhat similar situation, and I think that there should be lasting effects here. Now, I'm not saying that Nia should constantly be in this form where she's basically just water. I think that there should definitely, however, be some lasting effects from this transformation. So discussing them, let's kind of go through all of the abilities that she sort of unlocked from becoming and unlocking her full potential here. So of course, initially one of the first sort of things that we could kind of see was, of course, she seemed to have an enhanced control over water. Of course, we kind of got to see that even after just being hit by that beam from Kalmar. Of course, that energy blast, we got to see that she almost seemed to be more powered up from that. And then of course, the next sort of evolution of her abilities was being able to communicate with sea life. So of course, that was one of the core sort of things that she ended up gaining. So we got to see her abilities kind of enhance themselves throughout this season. And of course, I know that happened before she took the form of course, like Niad basically, but I still think that those kind of tie into the powers somewhat. But then of course, when she's in this full form after of course saving Jay, which we did see, of course, she can take in all of the water in a surrounding area and then kind of have it go into herself. So that's of course one of the abilities there. And then of course she's in this entirely new form where it's not really a physical form as much so as it is just being completely made of water, and then just taking the somewhat resemblance of how she used to look into like this water form. So of course that's one of the biggest changes, is aesthetics wise, and just discussing that in its core, I don't think that when Nia returns, now initially of course she could still have this form, but maybe there's some sort of way of when they bring her back that somehow she isn't fully connected to the water anymore. They can kind of sever that connection in some sort of way, not completely of course, because I still want Nia to be the master of water, but just not in this full potential form that she's kind of gained in Seabound. So I definitely think that maybe there could be some parts of that that are retained though, similar to like Cole's scar. I think that maybe she could almost have like a translucent blue arm or leg, some sort of limb that could stay like translucent water based. I think that could be really cool. Or maybe she has the ability to go into this form. Now I thought about this, and it kind of ties into of course what abilities she gets from taking this form. We see Nia take the form of a water dragon, which of course is an entire just other power level that she gains there. I mean, she's able to go of course head to head with Wojira and take a lot of hits in that form. So I don't feel that that's something that she should be able to regularly enter into, because of course it works perfectly in the finale there, because that's what you need to be able to defeat this huge villain here. But of course, just in a standard Ninjago season, in a random episode, if Nia can go into this dragon form at any point, I don't think there's really much of a challenge in the fights that she's in. So I feel like that's kind of something that she would have to wind up losing, but still maybe being able to kind of turn parts of her body into that water form and then be more fluid, like things like that could be cool. Maybe even being able to pass through walls. I know that's similar to like what a ghost would be able to do, of course, but I think something of that sort I think would work a little bit better, not being able to fully go into this water dragon form, but still being able to have elements of it with having one part of her body be that sort of transparent watery sort of element there. So that could definitely be really cool. Of course, I want her to retain the abilities of being able to communicate with sea life, things like that. I think the more enhanced water water control that she has as well, I think would definitely be something useful to keep with her character, and just a standard like evolution that would happen, of course, as she practices more with her Master of Water powers. So I definitely think that works well also. So that's kind of what I'm thinking mainly, is just that she kind of keeps some of these forms, but of course doesn't keep the full extent of the powers that she gained in at the end of Seabound, because of course that would just make her a little bit OP within the series and would kind of have an uneven balance with all of the other ninja. But it's definitely something that I want to see them sort of not just sort of like retcon immediately as soon as she comes back. It's not necessarily a retcon, of course, but you kind of get what I mean, is just taking away that full connection from the ocean. So it's still something that I want there to be remnants of on her character and have a lasting effect as well. I think that's very important, or else it will feel like at that point that it just kind of happened and now we've forgotten about it. But let me know all of your thoughts on this. What form do you think Nia should return to when she does come back in the Ninjago series? Do you think she's going to return? Of course, that's not the main discussion point of the video. This video is made on the grounds that I'm assuming that she will return at some point. I'm not saying like in the next season or anything, but when she eventually does, this is what I think will happen. So let me know all your thoughts on that, and let me know your thoughts on my sort of theory here in this video. But thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like on the video. Also subscribe as well if you would like to check out my other Ninjago content. That would be highly appreciated, and Lego content in general as well. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.